Bienvenidos, bromitas mías, al día 5 de Stray Gods. Tenemos ya para hablar con Perséfone antes, por si acaso, antes de ir a la guarida de Medusa en el nido de víboras, creo que se llamaba el sitio, el bar nocturno al que acudía. Es una espía de Atenea. Podemos sacar información, aunque usaremos nuestro carisma para ir a por ella. Y por cierto, no sé, decidme en los comentarios vosotros, fans acérrimos y gente con sentido común, si de verdad mis vídeos se me entiende bien, porque ya sabéis que yo llevo años que nadie me dice cómo mejorar las cosas. Llevo pues comprándome varios micros y haciendo de todo para que se escuche todo mejor, ajustando el mejor volumen, viendo vídeos. Y va uno de los comentarios que recibo en el vídeo de Infamous. Muy estúpido el comentario y que no venía a cuento. Que sí diciendo que sí, que nadie me veía porque, no sé, que hiciera vídeos de 12 minutos y que metiera memes y demás. Yo, pero perdona, esto no es un canal, os recuerdo que esto no es un canal de memes. Si quieres irte a ver memes o ver vídeos editados de manera graciosa, aparte de pues los chistes que hago al comentar, te vas a TikTok o a Instagram. Y si no, hay un montón de gente que hace vídeos, hace guías de niveles sueltos al 100%, hace vídeos de 2 o 3 minutos. Si eres impaciente para disfrutar sentado o tumbado 50 minutos un capítulo con su historia, sus cinemáticas, su música, explorando, apreciando el detalle del arte, de lo que han creado los desarrolladores, pues te invito a que vayas a TikTok o a Instagram. Lo mismo por todos los que vean el vídeo, que se piensan aquí que esto es como ellos desean, ¿no? Este canal, a menos que sea ciertos juegos largos de exploración como mundo abierto, que son vídeos largos, hacemos vídeos de 1 hora, como más o menos el promedio que le gusta a todo el mundo, en Netflix, en Amazon, en HBO, como un capítulo bien condensado con su trama, inicio y un final en cuelgue. Así son mis capítulos. Algunos juegos, como a lo mejor ciertos RPG Maker, no los haga en 1 hora, los haga en vídeos, vale, de 20 a 30 minutos, pero tampoco voy a hacer vídeos de 12 minutos porque es que tendría que estar haciendo 1000 vídeos, 1000 miniaturas por cada juego y nunca acabaríamos y nunca llegaría tiempo a pues subir algunas novedades frescas, que yo también tengo una vida y hago cosplay y hago LARP y más cosas. Y madre mía, la gente, que vale, el audio puede que en la PlayStation 4 no se me entienda a veces muy bien, porque a veces hay veces que comento y literal murmullo, pero otras veces grito y se me va el audio. Pero es que no lo puedo controlar porque es con el micro de los cascos y no tengo nada mejor que conectar a la PS4, pero ahí se escucha bien, porque luego yo veo mis vídeos en el iPad, en el móvil, en el ordenador, con y sin cascos, y se me entiende perfectamente. En todo caso, que pronunciara mucho mejor, que me tomara mi tiempo para comentar, en vez de decir algunas cosas aceleradas, que es cierto que a muchos youtubers no se nos entiende bien algunas cosas que decimos y tenemos que recapacitar, pero mis juegos se escuchan bastante bien y solo suele pasar en los primeros capítulos, cuando está desequilibrado el audio y ya encuentro el equilibrio para el resto de la serie. Y eso, en plan, ¿cómo voy a subir vídeos de 12 minutos? Que yo no hago vídeos cortos. Yo por ejemplo no soy un canal de Genshin o de Wuthering Waves que sube 10 minutos de leaks y de noticias y de cambios, no sé, de la torre del abismo y cosas así, novedades, en plan. Yo no hago eso. Tienes un montón de canales para eso y es que al final es como todo en la vida. O sea, bueno, un poco al final aprovecho este relleno de charla porque es importante tener en cuenta estas cosas, un poco a nivel educativo, tolerancia, respeto en la vida real, un poco de esfuerzo y porque el capítulo de hoy la verdad es que no va a ser tan largo por cómo lo tengo fraccionado lo que nos queda de juego, pero aproveche un poco de tolerancia que es cierto que en el mundo hay cosas horribles y hay cosas que no nos podemos callar para cambiarlas y mejorarlas para todos, pero si tú estás viendo el contenido que alguien ha creado de manera gratuita para ti en internet de algo que a lo mejor te gusta, pero no lo estás viendo a tu modo, ¿qué necesidad hay de comentar si luego no vas a ver mi vídeo? Vas a estar quejándote y vas a estar viendo un formato que no te gusta. ¿Para qué te quejas si luego en el internet hay de todo y puedes escoger a la carta? No es como la televisión que te ponen una película a cierta hora y si te gusta o no la ves o te la pierdes, o te ponen las noticias y no te apetece verlas, o te tienes que aguantar hasta que empieza tu serie. Pues vale, pero aquí en streaming, en YouTube, en Twitch, incluso pagando las suscripciones a los estudios de cine, pues tienes a la carta. Y si no te interesa, pues te invita a que te vayas a otro sitio. De nuevo, si quieres ver memes, tienes TikTok y Instagram y Twitter y X y Blue Sky, lo que sea. Así que ya dicho esto, a veces digo que me dais feedback de los vídeos y demás, pero es que también a veces es como lo dices, en plan, no hay que exigirle al que te entretiene gratis, tanto si te va a gustar o lo vas a ver como si no. Está en cómo pedimos las cosas. Porque lo mismo, si es algo que no es para que es algo que solo te afecta a ti, que solo te molesta a ti. Si te molesta y está a tu alcance y lo puedes cambiar, pues cámbialo, si te molesta. Si no, si es algo que no está en tu control, que es algo que pertenece al mundo y vale, te puedes decir, exigir, no sé, pedir un cambio para mejor, vale. Pero si es algo que, sin más, no forma parte de ti, simplemente no te gusta, pues déjalo, quítalo de en medio. No es necesariamente que tengas que huir de eso, de esas situaciones o temas, pero si no te gusta sin más, no lo mires, ya está. Presta la atención a las cosas que te gusten como te gusta. Así que vamos a hablar con Perséfone. No sé si va a ser solo para preguntarle lo que nos quedaba por preguntar, que dejamos algunas misiones, pero que no está enfadada.
Back from your visit to the
Bueno, sí, le podemos contar de todo lo demás.
Athena was ranting about it when I left her. She's none too pleased about you breaking the rules. Let's hope what you learned was worth it.
Pues sí. Bueno, si sale una canción, estaré atento para tener romance.
You don't intend to confront her directly, do you?
Bueno, que si no, con música.
I have to know why she was there. She could have been the one who attacked Calíope.
Es la espía de ti.
She could. And she could also attack you. I wouldn't put it past
Pero
her.
si uso mis poderes de amor, cariño, bueno, más bien de cantante.
Confronting Medusa may be your best option.
You could come with me when I talk to her.
Oh.
Trust me, if I'm anywhere within a mile, she'll have vanished by the time you so much as knock on her door. Just
O sea que estoy sola, ¿no?
to me and say you'll be careful.
Oh.
Now then, unless you've something
Okay.
else to ask.
Ok, estamos a solas. Ah, mira, le podíamos preguntar lo que
If
quedaba.
you got along with Hades for so long,
Bueno, vamos a sacar más lore, ya que estamos aprovechando
I did.
para el capítulo
I
de
grew
hoy.
up. I was a trophy for Hades. A conquest that he
Estropeamos
expected
nuestra
to remain
canción de amor,
unique
pero
and
espero que haya
unchanging
oportunidades
forever.
para hablar de todo.
He went out of his way to keep me small. I slowly realized that
Espero que no se lo haya
he'd
tomado como un
always been that
rechazo.
way. Manipulation and arrogance.
Porque al final hemos
behind the
escogido estar de su
handsome
lado
sneer.
todo el rato.
We battled for centuries. I hated him, and I told him so, but he refused to part with me. He declared that I was his and would stay in the underworld where I belonged.
Bueno, pero era solo medio año, ¿no?
and that's
Ese era el
why you
acuerdo.
killed him?
That's when I killed him.
Pero claro, no, así medio año es bastante tiempo.
The first time one idol
Siglos tras siglos.
had ever murdered another. Thank you very much.
¿En serio? ¿La primera vez?
I'm guessing the other idols weren't thrilled with you killing Hades.
Well, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. And
Ah,
Athena was
o
furious.
sea que
that
fue
the
cuando
most
ya se había muerto
powerful
de
reigning
alguna
idol
forma
had been
Hades,
lost.
Poseidón. O
See,
sea,
this was before the
Zeus.
war and before all the new rules.
mm,
The chorus had never once contemplated execution, but they certainly considered it then. In the end, they decided it was better to humiliate me. They ensured I did not benefit from Hades' murder, and stripped the throne I had wrested from his grasp.
ah.
Which you weren't happy about.
Ujú.
I asked them where they were all those years while I pleaded for help. I was
Pero
held
no
captive.
sé,
and
dejar
what was
sin
I
trono
expected to
el
do?
inframundo
Lie down and
no
take it
intervendría
forever?
con
Because
el
Hades was more
equilibrio de las
useful to
almas
them alive?
y el más allá griego.
No.
No es dejar una
I
fuerza
stopped doing what was
mágica
expected
y
of me the day I
energética
slit his throat.
liberada caóticamente.
May he rot in Tartarus with the Titans for all
Con su castigo.
eternity.
A ver, en teoría los dioses son ídolos, pero claro, si Zeus en su momento con sus hermanos mató a Saturno, que devoraba a sus hijos, bueno, o sea, a Cronos, si mataron a Cronos y el resto de titanes, ¿no eso sería también asesinato de ídolos?
How did you go from ruling the underworld to opening a nightclub named after it?
I won it in a bet with Dionysus, god of merriment.
Dionisio.
Okay, there has to be a story there.
Ah,
Well, the story is that he was a fool, but a charming one with many patrons. They built him a
Baco.
nightclub as his personal
Baco en Roma.
playground. And it was a grand old time for Dionysus in the 1970s, I assure you, but he didn't know how to run a business. By the time disco was ready to die,
y lo
so was
tuviste
his
que
stupid
modernizar,
club.
¿no?
So I offered to make it profitable. If I succeeded, he would turn ownership over to me. He accepted because, frankly, all he wanted to do was drink anyhow. I was successful. The club became mine, and I kicked Dionysus out for never paying his tab.
Ah,
Sucks to be him.
Dionysus ever sobers up, he might decide to be sore about it.
de que
but
está vivo.
So far,
Al
that
menos
hasn't happened.
el dios de la fiesta y la borrachera está vivo.
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
What constitutes a little more in this instance?
Hoy lo siento, pero va a ser un poquito
What
curiosear
are we?
mucho lore,
Where did we
lore,
come
antes de
from?
acabar la serie,
If an
aprovechar
idol is
entre
a
todos.
soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
Ah, the big
Estamos en el
question.
capítulo 5 y en
To
un
which the
principio
answer
son
is
7 capítulos,
knows.
como lo tengo
I remember the original
planteado.
Persephone only vaguely. Indeed, I'm not even certain she was the original. I mean, was there something before her? How did she get her idol on? I couldn't tell you. Evidently, we wrote little down in those early days, or were forbidden to, and our memories only stretch back so far. Anything beyond that simply isn't.
Pero en tu caso, tus recuerdos de cuando dejaste de ser mortal. Bueno, es que tampoco es mortal, es hija de Demeter, o sea, es semi-mortal. Se habrá casado con un hombre humano, claro. No me acuerdo muy bien. No me acuerdo quién es el padre de ella, pero bueno.
Psst. Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Alguien.
Aliens? Grace, you watch too many movies.
Gods are okay,
Ah.
but aliens are just wacky fiction.
Fine, yes. It is strange. No, our earliest days aren't the only blanks in our memories, however.
Igual si son
We
los
have many.
aliens, pero eso mismo. Nos han
Alas,
borrado la
the
memoria a
day
los
Zeus called
primeros
us all
aliens que
together to tell
decidieron
us
ser dioses
Rome
en la
had
Tierra.
fallen, and we should prepare for war. But did that war occur? I couldn't tell you. The last thing I remember after Rome was 1,000 years later,
Roma.
in the 16th century. I was in a different body, feeling as if no time at all had passed.
Claro, al final la
Athena calls that
eternidad
period
es esa eternidad,
the
no
gap.
sientes el tiempo,
That's what it
es
feels like.
eres
All
inmortal.
of us experienced it, and not one of us
Como
knows
One Piece,
why
el
or
siglo
how.
perdido.
The gap you mentioned.
Jope, es
that
que
like?
meten un
Did you just
montón de
wake
lore
up one
súper
day,
increíble
or-
del
I
origen de
wasn't
todo,
asleep.
aunque la historia
I
sigue.
lived. I had lives. I passed on my eidolon.
Tío, bien que el juego
I may
hubiera
have
sido
known
más
who I
largo,
was and what I was, but perhaps
con,
I was
con más
completely
personajes,
unaware. All I know is
aunque
that
eso
one
supondría
day,
más canciones,
Athena
claro,
came
y
to
más
my
esfuerzo,
memory.
más
At
presupuesto.
Trieste, I think. The moment that I saw her, all the old memories came flooding back. My life during the gap was wiped away in an instant, and it never returned. If someone did that to us, they were powerful indeed.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena woke up on her own, or so she claims, and spent the next century rounding up those idols who remained. Zeus, however, was gone.
Zud.
What became of him, what happened in
Zeus.
Rome, we've never pieced it together. It's troubling.
Por eso los romanos cambiaron los dioses, tras copiarse a los griegos. Pues eso, como ya he dicho, es que tanto lore que estamos descubriendo de repente, que es increíble, a ver, es trasfondo, no afecta al transcurso de la historia actual. Es cierto que por el presupuesto, realmente total de favor, el DLC de Orfeo, que lo jugaremos este Halloween, cuando acabe va a ser increíble, lo jugaré entero en Halloween, a ver si es posible. Le he pedido a una amiga que me ayude a ver si me compro una cámara que me ayude a configurar un modelo VTuber con mi fursona o estilo anime humanoide. A ver si lo hago y quedaría guay, a ver cómo lo pruebo en Halloween estos vídeos caóticos. Y tanto con un DLC, o sea, mola porque con el éxito de Stray Gods, aunque haya tenido sus fallos y demás, un poco la narrativa que parece que tenga como estos, no tanto, no sé si agujeros de guión o un trasfondo muy amplio, pero que apenas es necesario para la historia. Porque perfectamente pudieron haber recortado estas conversaciones y dejarlo a la curiosidad o imaginación del espectador, del jugador. Y se agradecería tanto nuevos DLCs, no sé, siguiendo la historia de Hermes. Bueno, es que Hermes sale en el... No digo, sale en el tercero, pero no digo nada más. Pero no sé, otros dioses, otros ídolos, no sé, menores a un héroe, no sé si siquiera Jasón, yo qué sé. Pero... O como eso, una novela visual hablando del origen de los dioses, no sé, la guerra, de cuando el tema de Afrodita, o cuando secuestraron a Hefesto, los nazis, y... O esto, lo que le pasó a Zeus en Roma, o la caída de Hades, cosas así, no sé. Se pueden hacer muchas cosas, y obviamente incluso una secuela en el mundo moderno, tocando otros temas de este lore poco a poco, haciendo crecer, es bienvenido. Como si en algún momento hacen una serie animada, o un live action, un musical de verdad, o una película, estaría increíble, la verdad. Una película pero bien hecha. Pero no sé, me molaría más, sí, una película que ampliase el lore mundo. Tal vez no, molaría que... porque es que juntarlo ya los eventos del juego, para eso está el juego. Sí, que sea una historia distinta.
Tell me more about the war. It seems to have had a huge effect
Pero oye,
on all
estabas
of you.
aprendiendo un
That's
montón
putting
hoy.
it mildly.
From
Han creado una
Aphrodite's
base
song,
sólida.
I know Ares betrayed everyone.
O sea, es decir,
What
es
did
bueno.
you do?
Se puede hacer ya mucho con toda esta información, aunque se sienta fuera de lugar.
Honestly, after
Sobre
my
esta
mother was
historia
murdered,
moderna.
I barely remember.
Your
Moderna.
mother.
Her name was Demeter.
Demeter.
Not truly my
Demeter.
mother, but an idol who had
Como la Petra.
always cared for me since the early days. I thought we'd be together forever. Then Ares brought those filthy bastards down on us. Demeter was slain by bullets. By bullets.
Ah,
Until
su
that
madre
day,
está
I believed
muerta.
we were untouchable.
Bueno, es cierto que una flecha Un dios podría tener más visión de verla que una bala, que parece que ya la tecnología como los nazis, Alemania.
I'm so sorry. That must have been
Somos
hard
la
to lose her like
Grace
that.
amable.
I watched her fall. Heard her scream.
Está a punto de llorar
I
en
would
su
have run to her,
tono.
but I was pulled away to safety.
Oh, que
By
esto sea un
homies
momento de
and
beso, por favor.
whatever was left of the old Persephone. The innocent girl with the long hair who loved her gardens.
Ah, por
She
eso tía
died with
dura,
Demeter
pelo
that
corto.
day.
Bueno,
After
te queda
that,
bien
I don't
también.
know. We went from hiding place to hiding place.
El pelo
I didn't
corto,
even know
sí.
what Hephaestus had done for us
Te
when
queda
I found
bastante bien.
myself on a boat. We might have been gods once, but after the war,
Pero estáis débiles. Sí.
we were just refugees, like so many others, fleeing to a distant land.
Mm.
Was it hard for the idols to come to the new world? It's just a place like any other, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't the place that was hard, it was the fear. We knew we were vulnerable. We knew mortals could and would kill us.
Claro, ya
Suddenly,
no tenían que
there were
confiarse tanto en
rules,
sus
you know, we had to
poderes.
be secret. We had to stay close together. We huddled in the shadows
Como
and quaked
la
each time the
mascarada
mortals
de
so much
vampiro.
as breathed in our direction. We couldn't all live that way. Some of us drifted away, faded into the night without
Igual
so much as
algunos
an
sí se quedaron
explanation.
viviendo en mundos
That's
mágicos
what's
como
been the hard
Asterión,
part. Our
Hécate, el
inevitable
relicario.
decline in a place where we don't belong. We can pass on our eidolons as often as we like, but it will never truly be home.
Cierto.
Tell me more about Calíope. You and her were
Igual
good
esto
friends, right?
saca conversación
were.
seductora.
And if you had told me a decade ago that I would become close to one of the muses, I would have laughed in your face. I always considered them Apollo's creatures. Calliope, Clio, Natalia. Vapid, frivolous gods who handed off their eidolon to any artist who took their fancy.
Ah,
Every time I met one of them, they were
A Daddy
someone else.
Yankee.
Apollo called
A
them
Lady
the
Gaga.
Sisters of Beauty, no matter their gender. Can you imagine that? That's such a stupid name.
la
never
bichota
thought of
divina.
Do idols change gender a lot?
Well, we tend to seek out successors like ourselves, but it happens.
Mm.
With the muses, it
Igual con
happened
Hermes, porque
frequently.
creo que es
Everywhere
transexual
Apollo
el
went, they
personaje.
surrounded him like a gaggle of ducklings, just like
O
him
no
to gather
binario.
his own
No sé,
fans.
ambas cosas. Sí, al final, con los tiempos modernos, al final buscan más un carácter y una virtud, más que un parecido exacto. Eso será a la estética y al modo de pensar de cada dios,
If you just
imagino.
liked the muses so much, how did you end up becoming friends with Calíope?
Ujú.
She sought me
Las
out.
tijeras le
She'd
pudieron el
become more
alma.
and more unhappy on Olympus, so she decided to leave just as I had.
Algo en
long
común.
before. Calliope asked for my
Un
help,
filo en común.
and I laughed in her face. Go ask one of your sycophant mortals, I told her. I mean, surely one of them has some threadbare couch you can sleep on.
Wow.
Typically,
Wow.
she was undeterred. She didn't just want a place to stay. She said she wanted to learn how to be truly independent from an idol who had mastered it. What can I say? I mean, I am a sucker for a well-timed compliment.
Ajá, claro.
I took her in.
A saga.
Apollo was furious. He and Calliope were barely speaking, but he was certain she'd come crawling back to Olympus.
Ah, Apolo antes era
Made
más
taking her in
orgulloso, ¿eh?
all the sweeter.
After you took Calíope in, that's when you became friends?
Well, no, not right away. I wasn't looking for a friend. What I was looking for was an opening act in the club.
Ah,
Calliope entertained
aprovecharse
here
de
for
su
years, and then
talento.
eventually turned from performing to attracting new acts. She was in her element.
Wow.
She and I, well, we warmed up to each other eventually. She was more capable than I expected, and I adored her furious rants.
Calíope didn't seem like the furious type when I met her. That's hard to picture.
Oh, then you didn't really meet her. She was an idealist, and nobody could ever quite live up to her standards for very long. Her brothers and sisters, least of all. The idols needed to change, she said. They were withering away in the shadows, diminished and unwilling to save their own skins. When I joined the chorus, she expected me to change everything, as if I could single-handedly override Athena. I was to be her champion, and together we would bring revolution to the idols. Well, I was yet another disappointment. She left the club, but I gave her a place to live.
Atenea nos dejó
We were supposed to stay in touch,
proliferar vuestra revolución, ¿no?
but you know how it went from there.
What happened to the
Las
other
otras
muses?
también
You
murieron, se
mentioned two
fueron.
others. Were they lost in the war?
Eran 7
One
o
of them
9.
was, though not like you think. The day we were to leave on the ship, Talia simply never showed up.
Se quedó en
Do you
el
know what
viejo
happened to her?
mundo.
We never heard from her again. Apollo thrashed about in mourning, but Talia had been fading away for years. It wasn't a surprise to the rest of us.
What about the other muse? Cleo.
Died long before. A victim at the hands of a mortal man, when she no longer possessed the power to bedazzle him. As I understand it, he kept her in a cage as a pet until her eidolon shriveled up and perished.
Oh.
He was dead before she was.
Ugh, that's pretty dark.
Yes, well, we come by our wariness of mortals honestly, Grace.
What's the deal between you and Apollo? The way you two fight.
I've told you how he and the other idols stood by and let me rot with Hades, did I not?
Sí, pero ¿por qué él
It
en
seems more
concreto de todos
personal
los
than that.
demás?
Okay, there's an old saying that no one escapes the underworld. But that's not true. I did. Once. Not long after Hades kidnapped me. I was homesick, and I missed my mother. Charon took pity on me and allowed me across the Styx. And after that, Grace, I waded through darkness itself to get out of there. Hades chased after me relentlessly, but I evaded him, right up until I got to the very slopes of Olympus. And who do you suppose was the first idol I met?
Uh-oh.
Apollo stood there. I cried out to him, begging him not to let Hades take me, and yet Apollo did as he has always done. Absolutely nothing. Hades was thrilled, and I knew then and there I could never rely on my so-called family for anything, ever again.
That's all I can think of for now. I'll see you around.
Y nos besaremos.
yes, that's where I'll be.
Que se me escapó la canción. Todavía me retuerzo de dolor yo. Bueno, no creo que podamos hablar con Perséfone, ¿no? No tenemos más opciones de diálogo. Pero, ¿y si nos sale la opción, qué pasaría si la pesteamos un poco más? Cariño, hay canción.
Back again, Grace? People will talk.
About what? It seemed like you...
Wanted to keep our relationship on a business level. Yes, I help you, you help me.
Está enfadada por lo que le hice.
Though I don't know what you could need my help with.
Oh, I'm sure I'll figure something out in time. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
No, not really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
Vale, creo que no sé si habrá un logro por molestar a tu amante, pareja divina, pero vámonos ya a la guarida de Medusa. No quiero yo que se enfade por tocarle las narices. En plan...
This must be a
claro.
viper's nest. Scariest
Ojito.
part of town, no sign. Just that one dude glaring at everyone.
Bueno, haciendo su trabajo de protector del club,
Just another day in the life of an idol.
del bar.
There you are. Man, this place is
Oh,
the worst.
Freddy, ¿qué haces con una maza?
Freddy? What
¿Qué
are you
haces con
doing
una
here?
maza?
What, you thought I wouldn't
¿Te
notice
crees
you
Jason?
sulking off? You didn't even bring any equipment, Grace.
Bueno, no, es más bien Perseo el que... Ah, te adoro. No. ¿Tienes
What kind of
equipos?
equipment does one bring to a meeting with Medusa?
This isn't a meeting,
No sé, un
Grace.
espejo,
You're not
un
here to
escudo.
tell her on your business plan.
Please tell me you don't have any weapons in there.
Más te vale que esa maza sea un cosplay o de soft combat o algo así, porque,
Do you
madre,
even know anything about Medusa?
hay que si te ve un policía ahí llevando un arma sin licencia... Uy. Puede convertir a la gente. Esto no
Do you
está
think she actually
traducido.
turns people to stone?
Let's hope not, or this could be a short visit. Or a really, really long one.
I'm serious.
Perseus used a mirror to reflect Medusa's gaze back at her. Oh, maybe you could use your phone.
El
You think
móvil.
that would work?
Ponle
Unless you
TikTok
brought a
y
mirror,
que
Grace,
los
it's all you
ojos de
got.
sus serpientes se fundan.
Okay, I'll bite. What do you know about Medusa?
Well, you know, she was
Casi se
human
traba.
once, right? And she was cursed.
Apollo mentioned it, yeah.
Por creerse más
by
bella que las
Athena.
diosas.
Or so one of the stories goes, anyway.
But doesn't she work for Athena?
Hey, don't look at
Claro,
me.
es su
My knowledge of
esclava
this stuff
a
stopped at a few
cambio, en
thousand years
plan.
ago.
She was once human, but she's
Ay.
definitely a monster, right?
Yeah, one of the worst.
Aquí es
But, you
evidente
know,
que vamos
so
a
was the
tener
Minotaur.
Asterion said she was scary.
una canción.
I have a feeling she's not like him.
Sí,
Then I guess you need to be prepared for the
Al menos
possibility that
menos
she's
amable.
as bad as the legends
al principio
say.
seguro que va a ser
Though
la
some of the
muchacha,
stories
sí.
also say that she was wronged by Athena and that what was done to her was an injustice.
And Athena just follows the rules, right?
Adina, yo follow the rules. Hagámoslo.
Okay, enough talking.
Ya, ok.
Time to do this.
You have a plan for how we're getting inside, I hope.
Maybe.
No creo que el
You're here to
guardia te
help?
deje pasar con esa
Always.
mata, como
Then I
no
have a
le
plan.
haga tontear con mi música. ¿Distracción en qué sentido? ¿Le tiras una piedra para que mire a otro lado, buscar otra entrada? A ver, enfrentar imagino que sería, no sé, a violencia no podemos. Tiene pinta de saber, no sé, defensa personal, artes marciales. Es más contundente. Yo no lo intentaría con alguien más grande que yo, de primeras. Con distracción imagino que cante, que... Es que enfrentar al guardia sería, no sé, que cante, ¿no? Que cante. Una distracción, ¿no? Imagino que me pondrá a cantar, que es nuestro poder.
Hi, this is where the comic convention is, right? I hope I'm not
Oh,
too late
Dios
for
mío.
this order.
Ma'am, I'm afraid you had the wrong address.
What?
¿Esta es la
No.
distracción, Freddy?
Oh God, no, that can't be right. Do you understand the indignities that I have endured? The weird looks, the body odors. Someone spilled coffee all over my cosplay outfit.
I...
Ha dicho cosplay, ha
Do
dicho
not tell me that I
cosplay.
got
Just
it
keep
wrong.
them
I spent
busy while I look
$50 on this
around.
ticket. I demand my personal
Bueno, yo creo
photo.
que Freddy está más segura con el guardia en la entrada, tonteando, que con nosotros. Oh. ¿Qué dentro? Oh, canción. Son estatuas. Oh. ¡Cómo mola Medusa!
Hello, who's that there? You've messed up my flow. Just get your drink, girl, and take your seat. Oh, it's the muse. There are sacred bites, and then there's this sacred bite.
Que las cejitas escondidas de las serpientes.
So right. I'm really gonna hate myself.
Vamos a empezar, vamos a hacernos la loca.
Before you start the show, Pan said to say hello. That's what he said to say.
Well, any friend of Pan's is a friend of Pan's.
No de ella.
I hate to interrupt your flow.
¡Wow! Se ha vuelto una canción de electro. Como mola.
I wish there was another way. Yes, you do. Now, look into your body goes freely every time I see it
¡Oh, que nos vuelven loca!
turning gently as it renders. Can you say that once again? I missed it. You really want to sing, but your silly mouth won't do a thing. It's meant to work that way. I call it the preparation. Yes, I could make you stone, but then my dinner's blown. That's why I've got this other way. Look into me. Oh, she's looking away. Hey, look into me.
Saw hunger with no end. You lost Medusa. Unless you find a friend.
What I
Can be a
look at me, but don't look at me.
¿Cómo cambia la canción? Esta canción es de las más raras.
She was mad at
Me encanta.
So,
Well, why was she mad?
she said I'd been bad.
Had you been?
No. Now
No, creo que la podemos matar, pero eso es un logro que no quiero hacer. En esta playthrough.
Listen, Medusa. She hides you in shame.
Igual podemos hacer una playthrough de violenta y de solo inteligente. A ver cómo cambia.
If I was treated like you, I'd be a monster too.
that's
Vete a Monster High.
kind to say, but you could never be
¿Quién sabe?
a creature like me. You didn't kill
Kill Calíope. So you know that it's true that I didn't do it.
Me encanta.
Yes, you do
Me está dando
know
escalofríos
what does that mean?
esta base.
Athena knows.
No. Okay. It's dinner time. You're not gonna watch. Fine grace, I'll take.
Just like fate made you, fate played me. Just like
And I won't see what your eyes see when you look at me. Don't look at me.
¡No, Freddy!
You think that will hurt me, child? You have not done your homework.
Oh, sorry, just trying to get your attention. Yeah, I've been watching, and I'm willing to bet you can't turn me to stone before I burn your snakes off.
Hey, stand down, Freddy. Let's give Medusa some
Un
space.
animal acorralado.
Yeah,
Tampoco.
okay. I'm watching her, though.
You ready to talk?
Fine, fine. What exactly is it that you want, pretty muse?
You were at the reliquary the night Calíope was murdered. I want to know
I
why.
wanna know.
Blast! This is why I didn't tell Lady Athena. I knew it would come back to haunt me. I only followed
Pues por haber
Calíope to the
trabajado
reliquary.
para
I
Athena.
never spoke to her. Never
Eso
even
te
called out to
pasa,
her.
cariño.
I swear it.
That's what Asterion told us, more or less.
But you were there that night.
Yes, yes, I admit it. Ugh,
Yeah,
Lady
yeah.
Athena will have my head.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She'll mount it on a pike. Whatever you might think of me, I had no part in the muse's death. I did not even know she'd been attacked until I saw her fleeing.
Asterion said he caught up with you out in the fog. Is that right?
I thought he was the one who had attacked her. He is a great beast of a creature.
No, es más refinado de lo que te crees y de lo que pareces tú.
Yes, I had only realized my mistake once I caught up to him, and by then the muse was gone.
And you never found her afterwards?
I thought she might flee to her pretty home, or to the sharp and prickly Persephone. She did neither.
Yeah, she came to see me. You followed Calíope to the reliquary. Why were you shadowing her at all?
I am Lady Athena's spy master, yes. Calíope has been trouble from time to time.
So you were spying
From
on
time to
her.
time.
I keep watch over every idol who no longer lives in Olympus, but especially Calíope. When I realized she was headed to the reliquary that eve, I followed. I had a duty to Athena.
You haven't told Athena any of this?
Do I
No
need to
todavía.
light things up again? 'Cause I'll do it.
I told her Calíope was at the reliquary that night. I did not tell her I was also there.
Why not? Wouldn't Athena find out from Hecate anyway?
I was not thinking clearly. I panicked. Lady Athena barely
Tiene un
tolerates
acento
my
cerrado en
sensibilities.
inglés, mola.
If she thought I was involved
Se
in
nota
any
que no
way,
está adaptada
if she
del todo
even
a
suspected.
América.
Did you ever find out why Calíope went there?
I was never close enough to ask. When I drew near to the reliquary, that is when I saw the muse fleeing. She was frightened, blooded, dying.
Y es cuando vino a
Yes,
nuestra
that made
casa.
you hungry.
I gave chase, yes, but to discover the truth. I knew Lady Athena would wish to know.
That does make sense from your perspective.
I didn't learn the truth until later. And then it was far too late.
Why should we believe you? You did just try to eat me, remember?
I am telling you the truth.
Right, and not at all trying to cover your own ass.
You presented an opportunity. Oh, to taste the sweet, sweet blood of a hero once again. It's a problem. I've been working on it, I really have.
Terapia.
Well, what of Pan? The only reason I knew Calíope was going to the reliquary is because he informed me.
La medusa es griega, pero parece muy
So much for
indio
never
su
lying
traje.
to me.
What were the odds, honestly?
Let's
Bueno,
put
es la
a pin in
cultura
that for
de-
the moment, shall we?
I
Del
am
Peloponeso.
a monster. It's true, I do
En la
not
zona de
deny
Asia
it.
Menor,
It's
cerca
still-
de India.
I did not kill
Todo
the
tiene
muse.
influencias de la zona, al igual que alguien de Oriente podría confundir un estilo de vestir castellano de uno francés o gaélico.
Okay,
Porque como
let's
es todo
say we
medieval,
believe you.
se puede
For the
confundir.
moment.
Whatever you do, pretty muse, I beg you. Do not tell Athena of my indiscretion. Show mercy.
Claro. Somos amigas.
I am horrifies you. It horrifies me as well. I cannot help what I am. I did not ask to be
Calma,
cursed like this.
calma. 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 Amiga mía. Ya habías hecho esto antes. Lo pensaré.
Indiscretion, huh? That's quite the word for it.
I cannot apologize for my hunger. I can only apologize that I am so very weak in the face of it.
I'll think about it.
I am a lost and cursed
Sí.
thing.
Ella no tiene que pasar su alma ni nada, es un monstruo inmortal,
If Lady Athena should learn the truth,
pero con, pues, su horrible belleza.
I hope you find what you seek, pretty muse. And that we meet again someday. And sing a different song.
Ah, no, sí. Ah, vale, el logro era este, vale. Canaliza tu persona interior y derrota a la gorgona, vale.
Yeah, and who could have
Vale, era un
foreseen
logro
that he
solo
was
como de fase.
lying to you
Ujú.
the entire time? Who, I ask you, a mystery.
¿Qué le has
even
hecho al
the
guardia? ¿Le has
oracle
hecho
couldn't have
bon con la
penetrated.
maza? ¿O qué? ¿Se goma?
There could be a good explanation.
Oh, Grace, just so sweet, so willing to see the best in everyone. Anyhow,
Sí.
you probably have a few questions for Mr. Goatman.
Señor cabrón.
Is he at home?
Gracias por ayudar, cariño.
Hey, I really appreciate all your help, Fred.
Right? I am so good at this. Who needs to be an idol?
Espero no
why you always
estar,
been a
no haber
kick-ass high
roto para,
priestess?
para
Am I
siempre.
not already? Seriously, am I not?
La relación. Ah, volvemos con Pan. La relación con Perséfone y estar desperdiciando la oportunidad de ligar con Freddy, pero.
Oh, if it isn't, the lovely Grace?
You
Y tú,
knew.
el adorable
Right
señor.
from the start, you
Cabrón.
knew Calliope was there that night.
Well, yes. She asked for the key and I gave it to her, no questions asked.
Ah,
I told you I didn't know what happened to Calíope, and that's the truth. I did not. So I nudged you in the right direction.
Bueno, os lo agradezco, señor cabrón.
So you were what? Just trying to be helpful? You still aren't
Como
telling me
siempre,
something.
cariño.
What possible reason would I have to?
Tell me right now.
Medusa learned that Calíope was going to the reliquary because I told her. Now, before you say anything, I had no idea of the fate awaiting our dear muse. And you yourself said Medusa was not responsible. I simply had to know if I'd inadvertently, rather innocently...
Mhm.
Sold her out? She came to you for help, and you gave her whereabouts to the highest bidder.
I am trying to help Grace. In my way.
What do you mean
Forzando el
in my way?
destino
What
de
is
la
what?
manera que no
What way
tendría
is
que
that?
haber sido.
The way where
¿Acaso
I don't
sabías que
take all the
tendría que
blame.
seguir viva unos meses más hasta darme su
What
ídolo?
else will I discover, Pan?
Por voluntad
I'd rather
propia.
learn it now than later.
¿Y sana?
I wish I could tell you, Grace. I truly do.
Bueno, no. Me lo iba a dar. Pero porque el destino era que iba a morir, íbamos a tener un accidente de coche. Bueno, ha sido un capítulo intenso. Al final hemos tenido lore. Vamos a hablar con Perséfone. Y le contamos de Medusa. Sí, un poquito. Luego ya a casa de Grace. Y de ahí pues nos pasarán
Back
al
again
siguiente
so
capítulo.
soon, Grace? You're practically a
Te lo
regular
juro,
at the
tengo
club.
preguntas.
Did you end up finding Medusa? Or did she vanish the moment you came near, like she does with every other
Nana,
idol?
cantamos una
She
bonita nana.
definitely did not vanish. Maybe I better explain what happened.
I knew it.
Ah,
We
resumen.
never should have brought that monster to the New World. Athena is a fool to think Medusa can be controlled.
Bueno, el próximo día
You're
vamos al
fortunate to have
departamento de
made it
Grace
out
y
in
luego
one
ya cambiaremos
piece.
al siguiente
It could have
capítulo,
gone
que va a ser
very
muy chulo.
poorly for you.
¡Ah,
You're
romance!
right. I should have brought you to protect little old defenseless me.
Aw. If I'd gone, you would
Bien.
have found nothing more than an empty
Todavía no
building,
hemos
I
perdido
assure
la
you.
relación.
Because you're so big.
Siempre hay
and
oportunidades.
I'm
Espero que se
glad
ponga
you
a cantar
appreciate
ahora.
my finer qualities.
scary. At any rate, Medusa might be in the clear. Pan, however, is not.
I don't imagine you've confronted him yet.
He admitted to selling out Calíope, but not to killing her. I don't know if I can believe him.
Nor I. Pan would do anything to save his own skin. Allow me some time to consider our next move. Now then, unless you've something else to ask.
No, not really. I'll see you later, Persephone.
Gracias. Bueno, le hemos hecho un cumplido. Ah, me alegro que no esté todo perdido. Seguramente, vale, lo siento, nos hemos perdido la canción de amor con Perséfone, pero con Atenea, no. Abuelo de las galletas. Nah, con Perséfone, pero sé que al final del juego nos vamos a besar con Perséfone. Incluso sin las profecías de Apolo, sé que nos hemos ganado el corazón de Perséfone, a pesar de habernos perdido la canción romántica. Obviamente hubiéramos tenido ya un beso, pero seguimos tirándole fichas, y no le hemos tirado fichas con nadie. Solo al principio, con Hermes no pudimos, pero sí le tiramos alguna a Eros, que tampoco nos deja porque luego no le ponemos tanto tiempo. Pero así se queda la historia. Espero que os haya gustado, plumitas mías. Recordad darle a like, suscribiros, compartir con vuestros amigos y familiares. Si tengo ganas de acabar por los juegos de PS4 que tengo en la lista, porque vamos a volver a ciertos juegos para Furry que me ha apetecido volver a jugar, que os ha encantado. La verdad es que una locura. Tokyo After School Summoners está llegando a los 900 visualizaciones, no sé cuántos likes, y lo mismo con Necesidad, que lleva ya casi 400. Bastante guay. Vamos a continuarlo, aunque tenga que traducir. Me lo estoy pasando genial y nos vemos en la próxima aventura, que este Halloween va a ser legendario en el canal. Hasta la próxima, idols.